a bhain séirí weisle agus a cárde. Rory Casement an té atá dá bhóra a nocht a going, de deire ina altóir ag cuairteanna hasanna é, agus de bí an chroch bechríoch dó. Och má déir féin, ní hinan breth na stára agus breth na cuairte. Sol mar hosig Rory Casement an obair úd a thug chun na críocha é, via anam an áirde, agus ní hábhéil an caintíí fud an domhan. Agus san ngáil obair eile a rinne sé. An séthar san a ghlach sé de láb sa Congo agus an sin a Butameo, ag nochta na héagóra agus an cosar bolog a bhí dá nimmert ghair acmé. Éine a scrúdóch saoil bhí Casement go cuaramach. Cihí sé ná raibh difríocht ar bith idir an obair sin a gnóthaigh molla agus cáil dó fud an domhan, agus an obair eile úd a hill tarcisne an tasanna dó. An grád an cart agus don tíirse a bhain lo a réin. Cé gur am le tia a rugú Rory Casement, bud de bhunamh oltach é, agus is an oltamh a chas sé túasa óige, hart fá chósta antrama an meng mhór agus láb le báid mhuirlacha. An oltamh a fuair sé chuid scoilíochta, agus is ann a chéad chuir sé ólas scéal a híre bhuafis. Agus tá ad ó bhalla ghó ina sin, san Afric nó an America has, níor haon sé riamh agus níor chéal a dhíl seocht déireann. An sí seo de chuairt a chóirc curúil hasanna atá le fescin de going in san alfictúr seo do chuid leabharí, de scuir sé an topta lá déag de dúil nígé déagus a sé déag, agus na ganganing sí breth an bháis Rory Casement. Garchar Pentonville dó, idir an lá san agus lá a chrochta, ba vinnig dó le ling an am sin chur sios léthe a óige in altamh, agus go mór mhór na grasa siúlóide a dhéanach sé hart ming mhór agus bhaig mhuirlacha. Lá des na léanta sin dúirt sé na focail seo. Nuair a bheith deire déanta chulam sesin, ag tagart a ghalbh, ná fágtar mo chnába san áitiú bhásaigh seo, og tógtar a rais go mórlach mé agus an siúd bíoch múig. Gíam go láidir, go dárfar ní sin Rory Uasil Casement chun críche fós. Members of the Honourable Society of King's Inns, it is for me a great privilege that my first official act as an honorary bencher of this honourable society is to unveil a painting which depicts one of the closing scenes in the life of one of Ireland's noblest sons, Roger Casement. I would like to say here that I am deeply grateful to the benchers of the King's Inns for the honour they have done me in inviting me to unveil this picture. I would like the benchers to know, too, that I deeply appreciate the privilege they have conferred upon me as President of Ireland in inviting me to be an honorary member of their ancient and honourable society. Though he was born in Sandycove, County Dublin, Roger Casement was of Ulster Protestant stock. His father and his family for generations were natives of County Antrim. His mother died when he was about 9. So from then on, he was reared by cousins who lived near Ballymena. It was at Ballymena Diocesan School that Casement received his early education. From what source he imbibed his nationalist opinions, I do not know. But from early boyhood, he evinced a keen interest in Irish history. In particular, he displayed an admiration for Irish leaders of the type of Owen Roe O'Neill, Patrick Sarsfield, Tone, Emmet, the Shears brothers, and other leaders of rebel Ireland. He was an early adherent of the Gaelic League, and he enjoyed the confidence and friendship of Dr. Douglas Hyde, its president, and of many of its leading personalities. It is well known that he assisted his friend Padraig Pearse financially and otherwise in the founding of Scoilíne in 1908. I mention these details because unfriendly voices have said that Casement cared nothing for Ireland, and seldom gave her a thought until the Great War was declared in 1914. I do know personally that Casement was in intimate association with many of the leaders of the Irish Ireland movement as early as the year 1907. Before he became generally known as an Irish patriot, Roger Casement's magnificent humanitarian work for the much-tortured peoples of the rubber countries of the Congo and Putumayo had gained for Britain immense prestige and won for himself worldwide renown and many high honors. When, broken in health, after his strenuous but successful labors for humanity in the disease-infested swamps of Putumayo, he resigned from the British service in 1912, he returned to Ulster. There he found a political storm of the most intense character raging. It will be sufficient indication of the excited political conditions in Ulster at that time to say that the Home Rule for Ireland Bill had that year been introduced into the British House of Commons. Casement took the deepest interest in this impressive political struggle. He organized a successful meeting in favor of Home Rule at Ballymoney. It was attended by a considerable number of his Antrim neighbours and friends, all Ulster Protestants, who declared themselves in favor of accepting Home Rule if the law were enacted. Nothing pleased Casement more than the success of the Unionist party in securing arms for their adherents and landing them safely at Larne. Here he discovered a splendid headline for nationalist Ireland. At once it occurred to Casement that what could be done in the north against Home Rule could and should be done in the south in defence of Home Rule. He hastened to Dublin, where he found that this view was shared by many leaders of the nationalists of the south. Casement urged that the nationalists of the south be organized as a military force and arms be procured for them to defend the Home Rule Act, which, it was anticipated, would be in operation within a year or two. John McNeill, Vice President of the Gaelic League and later President of the Irish Volunteers, took hold of this idea at once and hastened to put it into practice. He and Casement secured the support of the O'Rahilly, Sean McDermott, Bulmer Hobson, Lawrence Kettle, who, with 3 or 4 others, became the founders of the Irish Volunteers. In the later months of 1913, Casement spent much time travelling throughout the country, addressing meetings and organizing companies of volunteers. Everywhere he had gratifying success. His next step was to set about finding arms for his recruits. Early in 1914 he went to London, having got the approval of his colleagues in Dublin to set up there a committee to raise funds, to buy arms, and to arrange for their being landed in Ireland. His close friend and ardent admirer, Mrs. Stopford Green, the historian, gave him the use of her house as headquarters for his committee. There arrangements were made for the purchase of the arms and ammunition, which eventually were landed at Howth on July the 26th, 1914. Having seen that historic project well underway, Casement's next move was to go to the United States, there to work up enthusiasm amongst Irish Americans for the newly formed Irish Volunteers, and to collect as much money as would enable the volunteers to be properly equipped for the big fight he believed they would be confronted with later. Not many weeks after his landing in New York, the declaration of war in Europe came on the world. This put an end to his American project. Casement now took a very daring and hazardous decision. He decided to go to Germany to try to win support for the liberation of Ireland. That this idea of complete independence for Ireland was not a mere sudden impulse is proved by the fact that he had written and published in 1912 in the Irish Review, a monthly literary magazine founded and edited by his friends Thomas MacDonagh and Joseph Plunkett, articles in which he set forth his views on the right of Ireland to complete independence. The story of Casement's work in Germany, if I were to deal with it, would require much more time than I dare ask you to give me now. That Casement was unhappy in Berlin, and somehow became convinced that little help from the German government would be forthcoming, seems to be a fact. Word reached Casement via Switzerland through Count Plunkett, whose son Joseph had visited him in Germany the year before, that a rising had been fixed for Easter 1916. This was a cause of the greatest anxiety to Casement. He believed that no rising in Ireland could be possible without adequate German assistance, particularly in arms. He made up his mind that he must get to Ireland to prevent such a rising. He decided to face for home, though he realized he was imperiling his life in doing so. He, with 2 companions, landed by German submarine on the coast of Kerry, not far from Ardfert, early on the morning of Good Friday, 1916. Casement was captured by the RIC in the vicinity later that day, and before any of his friends were aware of his arrival, was taken by police escort and imprisoned in the Tower of London. His trial on the charge of treason opened before the King's Bench Division of the High Court of London on June the 26th, 1916. There were 3 judges: the Lord Chief Justice Viscount Reading, Mr. Justice Avery, and Mr. Justice Horwich. Casement was indicted under a statute of Edward III of 1351 for adhering to the King's enemies without the realm. Counsel for the Crown were the Attorney General, Sir F.E. Smith, the Solicitor General, Sir George Cave, Mr. A.H. Bodkin, Mr. Travers Humphreys, and Mr. G.A.H. Branson. For Casement there appeared Mr. A.M. Sullivan, K.C., Sergeant at Law of the Irish Bar, Mr. Artemus Jones, and Mr. J.H. Morgan. As was expected, the jury found Casement guilty, and he was condemned to death. An appeal was taken, but the verdict was confirmed. Several petitions, one signed by many important and influential Englishmen and women in various walks of life, were presented, asking for a reprieve, which was refused. Casement was hanged in Pentonville Prison on August 3rd, 1916. Englishmen may regard Roger Casement as having been a traitor. Irishmen will not. Some may share the view of George Bernard Shaw, who used these words when writing in defense of Casement after his execution: "He who fights for the independence of his country may be a fool, but he is not a traitor, and never will be regarded as one by his fellow countrymen." My own view, which I imagine will be shared by my friends of tonight, is that Roger Casement must be classed with Tone and Emmet and the historic men of 1916 who sacrificed their lives for the cause of Irish liberty. He, like those his glorious companions, gave up life and liberty in a cause that was dearer to him than either. His name with theirs is enthroned in a goodly company and a right noble succession. He and they shall be remembered forever. I am indeed glad that this painting has come into the possession of the Honourable Society of King's Inns, and that it will hang here in a place of honour in vindication of Casement's name.